Where will the next map expansion be here in PonyTown? I think we can figure this out using a little bit of logic. Most recently, we had a map expansion on the right side of the map, which introduced the tents and that whole lovely area. Because we had a recent map expansion on the right side, I don't think it's likely we'll see one there next. Additionally, if we take a look at the left side of the map, we can see that it is mostly ocean. What can you really expand out that way besides maybe throwing an island or something? Of course, we have a little bit of here in the top left, but I think it's mostly ocean, and so it's unlikely we'll see anything in that direction. Additionally, if we take a look at the bottom section of the map, it is also mostly ocean, save for, again, the bottom right. It would be nice to finally see this bit of land finally finished, and maybe it had a beach kind of expand all the way around here, or maybe even right here a little bit, but again, I don't think it's likely because, again, it's mostly ocean. So that only leaves one likely contender, and that is the top section of the map, which is just all land. Now, what would be included in such a theoretical map expansion? I believe we could take a look at this section of the map right here, where this river ends and where this cliff ends. I think we could have these kind of combine. We can have these cliffs expand up here in this direction and have the water continue up the cliffs, have a waterfall for the first time ever in PonyTown, which would be amazing in its own. But this also could include a mill with the water wheel thing, the water spinning it and making the wheel move and everything. This would be an awesome addition to the game. The water mill would look amazing. The waterfall would look amazing. The extra cliffs there would be awesome. It gives more area up to the top. And of course, we could even take a look at this whole section here where we just have carrots for some reason and then also pumpkins for some reason, which are like two different farms. So we could put a farmhouse up here, maybe a barn or some other thing like that. And I think it could make an excellent addition to PonyTown. But let me know what you think in the comments below and where you think the next map expansion will be located. But what if I was completely wrong about the top section of the map being the thing that's expanded next? What if instead it actually is over here on the far left side of the map? What happens then? What would they actually do over here? Well, like I mentioned slightly earlier, the only real thing they could do on the left side of the map would be add an island or two. I mean, it's mostly ocean, right? So if they did add an island, what would that island be like? And what would it have on it? Well, I think the answer comes within the game files, the lighthouse. The lighthouse has kind of been hiding away in the game files for a while now. It hasn't ever actually been properly introduced or added to the game. And right now, if we take a look at the minimap once again, there's no real good place to put a lighthouse. We have a beach up here in the top left, and of course we have the beach that just pretty much does most of this section here. You could maybe say that a lighthouse could maybe go good somewhere over here, but honestly, I don't know if that actually would be the best location, because if you don't know, most lighthouses are actually on small islands away from the main land, because the whole point of lighthouses is to warn them of land next to them. So they could introduce the lighthouse finally on an island away from the main land, and they could even introduce one of those small lighthouse keeper buildings right next to it. And this would introduce a building that we could actually enter. Maybe we could interact with the lighthouse in some way with this, or maybe this is just a fun little nautical area with a bunch of little nautical things and stuff. You could even have boats somewhere on the map. I actually don't know where you could put it other than the docks, but you can have another boat, maybe even right here, that would then introduce a teleporting mechanic that would teleport you to that island. Because honestly, if we're taking a look at this section of the docks, there really is just a space for a boat to be added. They could easily throw in a boat right here. They could even throw in one right here. So the question is, what are these spaces for? Is this just for more boats? Are they going to introduce more teleporting, or what's going to happen here? Let me know in the comments below. And I mean, come on guys, we definitely need a lighthouse, because I mean, if you guys don't know, these pieces of wood here and these pieces of wood right over here are all the result of a shipwreck. This is a canon thing, by the way. This is an actual shipwreck. That's what this is meant to depict. And so we definitely need some kind of lighthouse to warn ships so that they don't crash in PonyTown anymore. And what about this bottom section of the map? If they were to expand in the bottom instead of the left side, what would they possibly do or add? Well, again, what the heck is going on with my minimap? The only real thing they could do here in the bottom section of the map would be to finally round off this piece of land. Presumably, this would just end because, I mean, if you look at it, there's water on the right side and the left side, so presumably this would just be a round shape at the bottom of the map, essentially, and it would possibly be a beach or maybe something else there. Honestly, I don't really know what they could really add to this section. Let me know in the comments below if you have any ideas. Over here on the right side as well, we could again have some kind of waterfall or perhaps another cave. Because what would be really awesome is if they were to expand this corner, have it come out a little bit, and then have a cave in the water, sort of. So it's like an underwater cave. You can go into that, and it would bring you to a new cave map. This new cave map would basically be the cave map we have now, but a little bit bigger, and there was some water sections to it now, and there's like basically 2 different entrances to that cave. I think it would be an awesome addition to the game, and it would make sense in this area because they could have cliffs over there very easily with a map expansion towards the bottom. And again, this is mostly ocean on the bottom side of the map, so if they did expand in this direction, there's someone hiding in the very tippy corner of there for some reason. I don't know why, but anyway, if they were to expand in the bottom section of the map, they would have to add some kind of island or something over here as well. Something, an oil rig, I don't know what they could add over here, but they would have to add an island or something over here on the bottom section of the map if they were to expand there, because again, it's mostly ocean. And what about the right side of the map? If I am even more wrong than I think I am now, what could possibly be expanded over here on the right side of the map for them to add to warrant an expansion on the right side? Well, I think the right side is not the most illogical space after all, because it is basically all land, and so if they ever wanted to expand the map and have more land, it would have to be the right side or the top side of the map, because those are the only 2 locations that actually have land and would give us access to more country, I guess you could say. But that being said, what could they possibly throw on the right side of the map that would make any kind of sense? I mean, we just got the campsite, so maybe something to do with the campsite? Perhaps they could introduce a hiking area, a hiking trail with some interesting plants, some more magical-esque plants and stuff like that, and perhaps that would introduce a reason why there's people camping here, because they are exploring this wonderful magical forest. Another idea could be that you could have more ruins, a possible castle ruins or something like that. We do have ruins already here on the right side of the map, or at least something kind of like ruins. We have this, which is a graveyard right now because it's Halloween, so it has to be for some reason. But we have a graveyard here, and it's kind of surrounded by like castle walls, I guess you could argue. So they could easily, oh, there's one of my friends. They're messing with me apparently. It's gonna crash in the video. What's happening? Hang on. What? Hello. That's it. They didn't say anything else. What the hell? They're just going around the map for some reason. What was I saying? What was I talking about? I don't even remember now. The graveyard, or this area here, which is never a graveyard except during Halloween, is kind of just looking a little bit weird. They could introduce a castle, or have this be castle-esque ruins, or perhaps a courtyard to a castle that they put or place here on the right side of the map. That is my idea for the different 4 sides of the map, where they could expand and what would be expanded in those directions if they did expand in those directions. So let me know in the comments below what you think they would expand next, what you think they would introduce if they did expand in that direction, and use hashtag cave update, because we need a cave update, and I really like my cave idea of having 2 different cave entrances and one being on the bottom. I think that would be really awesome. But for now, please do consider liking, subscribing, sharing, and doing all those wonderful things like that, because when you do wonderful things like that, not only do you get access to wonderful content such as this, but you also get to become wonderful yourself, and I think we all want that. So do those wonderful things, and until next time, stay wonderful.